with us now, back with us is Tal Heinrich, a spokesman for the Israeli government, a veteran journalist in that fine country as well. Tal, good to see you back.
Thank you for
So
having me on.
Let me talk about the dozen today, and the math, and I've been following it closely, Tal, seems to favor at least 3 times as many Palestinians released as Israelis released.
Well, it's not a perfect outline.
Yeah.
Let me quote Thomas Sowell here. There are no good solutions, only trade-offs. This is the trade-off that we have agreed upon. And we hope to see the release of more hostages. This is not enough. Many more hostages are still being held in captivity for 53+ days right now. We hope that maybe tomorrow we'll see the mechanism repeating again. We said that for every extra 10 Israeli hostages that Hamas would agree to release, then we will agree to another day of humanitarian pause in the fighting, and to the release of more Palestinian prisoners who were involved in terrorist activities. So we still haven't received a list for tomorrow, but we hope to get one. These are nerve-wracking moments every day for every Israeli. People in my country are watching, glued to their news TV screens, waiting every evening to maybe get this momentary sigh of relief that here some more hostages are coming home, but what reality are they coming back to? 2 siblings, a boy and a girl, aged 13 and 16, who were released yesterday, came back and discovered that their mother was killed by Hamas terrorists and that their father is still in Gaza. And we're hearing now about the conditions in which these people were kept. 9-year-old Emily Henn, she still whispers, her father says, because that's what she was used to when guarded by Hamas terrorists. 12-year-old Eitan Yahalomi, he told his family members, and they told various media outlets, that he was being held alone for 16 days in a room without other hostages, and that Hamas terrorists used to beat them up when they showed them, the children, the videos of their atrocities from October 7th, and when the children cried, they beat them up.
Well, what if now, if it's 70 of the 240 hostages have been released thus far, and now Hamas is throwing in the possibility that some of those hostages are in private entity hands. I don't know how that all worked out, but are they just stringing this along, this process? You
brought up a very interesting point, because among the 10 hostages, the Israeli hostages, and 2 Thai workers, Thai citizens who worked in Israel and were released today, from what I'm hearing is that a few of them were held by Palestinian Islamic Jihad, which is, just to the viewers, this is the 2nd largest terrorist organization in the Gaza Strip. They are fully funded by Iran, getting their marching orders by Iran, a full proxy of the Islamic regime. And Hamas, they're getting 90 or so % of their budget coming from Iran. So 2 of them were held by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. From what the IDF spokesperson in Arabic announced a few days ago, also 10-month-old baby Kfir Bibas is being held by this group. So it's an interesting development that we saw, but we're holding Hamas accountable for everything that's happening in the Gaza Strip. They are the ones.
But when they can't identify where some of those hostages have ended up, do you fear that some of them might be dead?
Well, of course we're worried. We're worrying. We were praying for the best. What can we do
in this situation? Which gets me back to this, whether Hamas could string things along. The reason why I mention it is Benjamin Netanyahu has reiterated this offer to extend the ceasefire, as you aptly pointed out, an additional day for every 10 hostages released. But he also said that Israel would resume its offensive against Hamas with all of its power once the ceasefire expires. So I'm Hamas hearing that. Let's just keep delaying.
So the humanitarian pause in the fighting this day is supposed to give Hamas terrorists, they claim they need the time to go and fetch all the hostages that they need for the same batch that would be released the same day. We're dealing with a brutal terrorist organization, the one that mutilated, raped, butchered our people on October 7th. They obviously cannot be trusted. As President Biden correctly stated, they only respond to pressure, and we will continue to exert more military pressure on them.
Do we know anything, Tal, about the Palestinians that have been released? Many more of them than Israelis.
You mean the Palestinian prisoners that we have been releasing? So, listen, again, there's no comparison here whatsoever. We are releasing people who attempted to stab, murder, burn Israelis, throwing Molotov cocktails at them. I can tell you, for example, just the story of one of them. Her last name is Yasmin Shaban. In 2014, she attempted a suicide bombing. She was planning a suicide bombing in the middle of Tel Aviv. She wanted to disguise herself as a pregnant Jewish woman wearing an explosive belt. Then she was released, and just last year, we arrested her again because she was planning additional attacks on Israelis.
How do we know there aren't more like that being released by Israel?
Again, it's not a perfect deal. It's not what we wanted. We value life. We are very proud to be part of this nation that leaves nobody behind. This is the deal that we agreed upon.
But you fear the people that you are releasing could very well come back and do what you cited there.
It's of course it's a warring situation. It's a very disturbing situation. But you know, Hamas terrorists know it, that we value life so much, and when you are part of a nation that values life to this extent, it makes you vulnerable.
Absolutely.
We should say it.
You know, I know you're doing yeoman's work, trying to get the government's position out there where this is going. There was an effort a little more than a couple of weeks ago by this, coalition government, where some were saying, getting mad at Benjamin Netanyahu. You screwed things up. There was one member who was even talking to the opposition leader. Maybe he should go. Someone from Likud should take his place. Is it holding together, or are nerves frazzling here?
I can tell you what is holding together. The unity government is holding together, and it's really reflective of the public sentiment in Israel right now.
So the one opposition leader who said he's got to go, is he in a distinct minority there?
Well, and even he, when he was interviewed in American media, he said, we are united right now.
Right.
This is, and it's 100% correct. Everyone in the country, when Hamas terrorists butchered us, they didn't care who we voted for. Everyone in the country understands that.
Tom, thank you very, very much. Tal Heinrich, the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's spokesperson here, a veteran Israeli journalist in her own right, keeping us posted on those developments. Just to bring some of these numbers up to date before we go to a quick break here, 70 of the 240 hostages have been released thus far. There's talk of extending this pause in activity to allow for still more to come back. But again, no firm word on that, whether this will definitely extend into a 6-day.